Hello, hello, hello. How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? I am your co-host, Andre. Right over here, it's the lagging princess herself. It's Melball. How you doing, Melball?
Melball is not a technological magician. She don't know what's going on.
It
Glorious,
could be
glorious
me.
chaos.
It could be me too. I don't know. It's our internet has not been working right for us this morning. So
No, we've been struggling, but we're here. We're riding that happiness high from seeing the show that we're talking about right here, right now. I'm so happy. I don't know if I mentioned that to everybody since the show happened. I am so happy. Jay, I might look
happy.
like a swamp witch today, but are you happy?
No, I'm happy.
You're not happy?
I'm very happy. I've had a great weekend. As we went and saw one of our close friends do his first ever comedy set on Thursday night. Um, we went to the show we're going to talk about today on Friday night, and then on Saturday uh, I went to see comedy again with our
Mhm.
friend Sean and our friend Andreas, and it was just a great weekend. And then I got the We're recording this on Sunday. I got the Super
Mhm.
Bowl in a few hours. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good day.
We have a cage match also that we need to watch and hopefully not be spoiled about on social medias, which I've been trying to avoid, which is hard. A girl has to keep up with, everybody but the Kardashians,
Well,
and I can't.
Well, and there's so much news coming out today about Japanese wrestling. Reports that
Mm,
Okada is AEW bound. Uh, there's just so
mhm.
much stuff. So I want to read it, but I've already gotten spoiled on 3 of the 4 big matches on this show, and I'm like, I can't let myself get spoiled on this main event. I need to enjoy it.
I feel
Not
that.
that I won't enjoy
I
the
feel
other
that.
matches as I watch them, but that match is something special to me. And as soon as we're
Mhm.
done this, I'm going back to watching it. So
Yeah, same, same. I made it about 3 matches into the February 11th show for the NGPW there. I had 1 match. I'm very, very thankful. I've only had 1 match spoiled, and it was what I expected to have happen anyway, so I don't feel really
hmm.
spoiled in that too much. But let's talk about this show, man, because I made a pretty big statement that this was the best show that I have seen this year from a local indie production. Andre, would you agree with that?
So far, yes. It just this is my standard bearer for the rest of the year. And
Mhm.
not to throw shade at LPW, not to throw shade at RCW or anything. It's
Mhm.
just that they
Mhm.
put on such a crazy show that they're gonna other shows are gonna have to do stuff to top it. Next month they
Mhm.
announced Santana coming
Mhm.
in, so
That's
that's
gonna be
gonna
killer.
like Santana, Effy. We'll talk about Effy
Mhm.
and so many more that he's going to announce more, and
Mhm.
that's only in a month.
Yeah.
And they only it's a month away or a month and a half away because
Yeah. Hey, some of those exclusives can actually hit that 12 matches a year now, so that'll be good for them in their careers.
yep.
But also what I've really, really liked about this show in particular was that we've always talked about certain things being a detriment to this specific show. Those things were built upon. It's almost like they actually listened to the complaints of the people and actually did something about it. So, like, my biggest complaint was, the seating was atrocious because you couldn't see the ring because the ring was kind of in that lowered area. They actually put a stage out and put the ring on top of the stage. Now, I was terrified the whole time that people were going to fall in that half-foot hole that was between the railing and the ending of that stage. So you could always hear me going, "Look out for the hole!" But everyone did so
Isn't that
good.
isn't that your motto though? Look out for the hole.
I guess it is now.
I joke. I joke. I joke. I joke.
But it was such a great improvement because at no point in time usually I hear when I kind of meander about, which I do a lot of meandering, I'll hear somebody say, "It sucks we can't see. It sucks we can't see the show. It sucks we don't have a lot of seating." There was more seating put out for people. The people never talked about not being able to see the show. And our friend who was in a wheelchair, she actually got to sit and enjoy the show and see it at a good regular level instead of having to sit there and be like bobbing and weaving in her wheelchair. So I was really, really happy initially just walking in and seeing the setup of this. I also really like how they kind of have moved the merchandising and kind of meet and greet area into a different area than where everybody is kind of standing,
Hmm.
um, so that you can still see the people still go to the merchandise area and still hang out around that ring area. I thought it was a great setup. What do you
Yeah,
think on
I really love the improvements on the setup. I thought like just I didn't end up sitting all night. That's just my personal dumbassedness. We had
you
a
had
chair
the
for me.
chair?
Well, I didn't know I had a chair because we got our chair. We got chairs in like the second, third, and fourth row. We kind of grouped ourselves in. So
Mm.
we had a bunch of people joining
We
us.
had a horde is what we had. We had a small horde.
Yeah, I think I've added two more to our horde now. So
Much more. Much
yeah.
more. At
Uh,
least 3 or 4.
well, I for sure added. Well, I added three last night or on Friday night
Yeah.
to our horde. I think.
Mm.
One is a very tiny person adding to our horde. It looks like. Uh,
Hey,
but yeah,
we need those little ones.
yeah. I was hanging. I got the really cool thing. I was at the back of because I ran into my buddy Nathan, so I started chatting with him, and he was sitting
Mhm.
just behind us on one of the stools. So I stood there. I ended up standing with him all night, standing there, and Carly Sin rolled over with her, and she had her little guy with
Ah,
them with her, and it was just awesome because we were just chatting. I was just chatting it up with her all night. She's such a nice person,
mhm,
man. I absolutely
mhm,
love her to death, dude. She is so cool. I definitely want to hang her
mhm.
again. And I told her if you once you actually get in the ring and start wrestling, we will happily have your kid sit with us because that kid is the coolest is one of the coolest kids, man. The kid is so nice, he's so cool. He's such a cool
He
kid.
is.
Yeah,
He's so
no,
cute,
but
so
and it,
adorable. Yes, it's nice to finally actually put a face to the person because both of us have been chatting with her a little bit over the few weeks on,
yeah,
socials and stuff, so it was nice to actually meet the physical person.
yeah, it was awesome
That
finally
being
getting
said, though, we should jump into this show, man. We've been bippity-boppitying about all the
bippity
stuff that we've been
boppity
doing behind
booing, we
bippity-boppity
bippity boppity
booping.
boo, bippity boppity
Oh, there
booping,
was no booping. There was no booping, though.
boop. There we go.
No touching tips at this show.
Yeah, there's no tip touching. Even when Mitch was out there, we didn't touch tips. Well, I wasn't near you guys. That didn't help. I was like two rows
Yeah,
behind you guys.
I mean, even yeah, we'll talk about that
So we
when
kicked
we
it
get
off
to it.
with we'll kick it off with the match of the night.
Yes.
Kody SOI Garcia taking on Tommy Billington. Like I got so lost in this match, I only got like probably 7 or 8 notes versus like other matches later on. I got way more.
Mhm.
So it's just because like I was getting so lost in this match at times, man. Because it's so
High-speed match.
again, this was another one where Tommy had the perfect opponent for him that drew out so much just like he had that like I'm going to kill you attitude on him. And it worked
Mhm.
so well with Kody because this crowd is so behind Kody. So they just hated on Tommy and it was absolutely perfect. Um
Yeah.
there was a beautiful like he goes in Tommy caught Kody, got him, was ready to slingshot him, and then like walked forward into a Boston Crab instead of like turning it
Mhm.
over. He walked forward like like contorting him, like going like and contorting him. It was great into the Boston
Mhm.
Crab. Oh, I loved it.
Didn't
Uh
Cody grab his ankle at that point and reverse it, though?
he did get out, but like
Yeah.
just to set up into the Boston Crab, getting in the slingshot position,
Very
and then
smart.
walking forward into it, it just like made him like crunch his neck as he goes over. It looks
Mhm.
more brutal putting a guy in it that way. Um,
Yes.
beautiful
100%.
cross body where Kody cross bodies Tommy over the top rope, and they go crashing onto that floor. Oh my god, that looked painful.
Watch out for the hole.
Uh, beautiful. So Cody's on the floor. Tommy goes to the top rope in the ring and jumps off and drop kicks Kody on the floor. Tommy
Mhm.
looked like he took the worst of it because he just went thwomping into the floor.
Yeah, he pretty much took a back bump onto that unforgiving stage there. Did not look nice.
Yeah, Soy Boy with some crazy athleticism, some of the dives he was doing, his
Mhm.
spin kicks, his knee high knees are just so good. Uh, Tommy hits a snapdragon on the apron, and then he gets a
Mhm.
bird. This is like burning hammer cutter in the ring. Like it was burn. It goes with burning hammer, and then turned it into like almost like into like a cutter almost. It just looked great. Brainbuster in there. Tommy comes running at him in the corner, and Kody hops up, bounces off the top rope, lands behind Tommy, and just hits this German just murdering Tommy. Just so good. Cody, in
Mhm.
the match, so Kody went to the top. He does the moonsault off the top, and Tommy gets the knees up, cracking Kody in the jaw. He came
Yeah.
down so he was dazed, picked him up, hit the tombstone, went to the top, hit the elbow drop off the top, and Tommy Billington beats Kody SOI Garcia.
Mhm. I was thinking a lot about this match specifically with Tommy. Gotta get my directions right. You're absolutely right. This match brought out so much more personality in him. We saw such a new range of facial expressions coming out in this, and it just built up from the match we had seen the week prior with Nasty Nate Nixon, where we started to see the emergence of that personality. Better to put in against Tommy than the person who has quite arguably the most charisma and is most over with the crowd in the company besides Cody Garcia. For some reason, I have Sling Blade screaming in the back of my mind. Did Tommy hit a Sling Blade on Cody? I feel
I
like he
think
did.
he did, but yeah, he did, but I didn't write it down because it was early. It was very early because
It was my first gold star of the night.
I remember Carly going, "Damn, that was a nice sling blade." Like I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
girl. Love her. Great
Hmm.
minds think alike. Something that I kind of was rattling my brain about last night was the comparison of Tommy to another person that I think we both know very well and know is very successful in this business, which is Ishimori Taiji Ishimori.
Mm.
Yeah, he's got a very similar build. He's jacked, clearly just great athlete. But it took pairing Ishimori with someone like ELP in this situation, a Cody Garcia who has that crazy amount of personality. And in the situation with Ishimori and ELP, ELP gave Ishimori almost that confidence to be that kind of really eccentric, goofy kind of heel without taking away too much seriousness from it. I felt in this match, Cody did the exact same thing for Tommy, and we started to see that kind of emergence of that, kind of, muscle chihuahua attitude there, which is a great attitude to have. Chihuahuas think they're the shit. Whether they are or not, they think they're the shit. And I would love to see that attitude continue to come out in Tommy because he's such a good wrestler. I just want to see a little bit more personality, but this is totally two steps in the right direction. The first with Nate and the second with Cody. Sky
Mm.
can only get better and better, better going forward.
Yeah, and I was with Nathan, and I told him, "Oh, it's Tommy Billington." He kind of was like, got a like a look on his face, and he goes, "I'm like," and he's like Dynamite, and we're talking, and says, "Yeah, it's Dynamite Kid's nephew," and he's looking
Mhm,
at him, he's like, "Dude, he is the spitting image of Dynamite."
mhm,
Like if you the
mhm.
face, like the facial features are similar, the gear is the same, the body build obviously not as like as his uncle, but like he's ripped
He's
like him.
getting there, Jesus.
He's got like the gear is like almost pitch perfect, the exact same. Like
Oh, I love that, yeah.
like this kid is amazing, man. He is going to be a star. And he's only
Mhm,
been wrestling since 2018. At least going back
mm.
off his cage match. First match at registers in 2018. So like man, and like I know Soy Boy has been running since about 2014, 2015. He was a little boy when he started. Literally, he was a little
Mhm.
boy when he first got in the profession. When he got it, when he started wrestling, legitimately. But yeah, I think Tommy's 21. I think Soy Boy's
Okay, yeah.
20 or 21. I think it's about to turn 21. And
Mm,
yeah,
20, I think.
20. I thought he was about to turn 21. But yeah, still, like
No.
it's just it's incredible. You have the youth and the ability out of
Skill
these
that they
two.
have already, yeah.
Oh. my God. And again, it's growing up inside those wrestling families too is a big part of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, having those families to kind of build off of really does help you get your foot in the door. Like if you just start kind of willy-nilly nowhere in a performance center, I mean, that's one thing, but like growing up in the business really does give you a different skill set, a different level. And I would say actually a little bit of a, in not every case, because Lacey Von Erich, but like they gives you that foundation because they did it, so can you, kind of thing.
Okay. Lacey's not great, but I've seen far worse than Lacey Von Erich on TV. So
The
she's
only
not
one I
good.
think worse than Lacey is Eva Marie.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so they're both kind of up there in
Carmel.
it. So let's not get
Carmel's.
distracted by this.
Yeah, let's not get distracted. Let's move on. We move on to the next match tonight. It's a Robert Martyr from GCW taking on Mitch Clarke.
Mhm,
I am very unfamiliar with Robert Martyr. I think I've seen him wrestle like a total of twice before this. Um,
mhm,
really good back and forth early on. The crowd, I think the crowd kind of like was recovering during this match because the crowd was so loud and so intense on that opening match that the crowd
mhm,
almost seemed like they're trying to recover here. Like, and I'll be honest, Mitch is a heel. Everybody like you know what I mean. Mitch is a heel,
mm.
and I'll say this: 95% of this crowd didn't know who Robert Martyr was. I'm gonna say that because
I was one of them.
they drew somewhere between 800 and 900 people into this
Mhm,
venue, and yeah, and there was a name on this card. Why certain people? I'm going to say a good chunk of these people showed up for it. Don't get me wrong, they did
mhm,
700 last time, but it's so it's kind of hard when you've got a baby face who's not nobody knows who he is, and
mm,
then doing a he was kind of Eddie Guerrero-ish trying to work.
mhm,
But he was
mhm,
good. Nothing bad against him. He was very good. Mitch getting control at
mhm,
one point and literally stomping a mud hole in Robert in the corner looked really good.
mhm.
He gets the Cobra Clutch backbreaker into the flatliner for 2. Gets a Fisherman Buster. Rob Martyr reverses a lariat into a Falcon Arrow for 2. Looked
Oh, yeah.
phenomenal.
That was my second gold star of the night.
Yeah, hits the huge lariat, follows it up with the like that super high angle power bomb where like you're dropping the guy down on his up on his shoulders almost when you're
Oh,
power.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, like oh, that's like old school
Mhm,
Japanese style power bombs right there. It,
mhm.
Rob gets a 2 off that. Uh, Mitch hits the knee to the face, buckle bomb, the Green Bay roll, and then follows it up with the Uranagi. And Mitch Clarke is your winner.
Mhm,
I love me some Mitch Clarke. I've been a fan of this guy since his UFC days. When he debuted in MPW, I was there for it
mhm,
100%. But yeah, just it was a good match. Just I think the crowd was kind of a little dead after the opener, and just you get behind the babyface, and this one babyface didn't know him. That's the issue. The match was really
mhm.
good though.
Yeah, like in-ring performance-wise, yeah, this was a solid match, but you're absolutely right. The energy shifted in the entire venue when this match started. Trying to figure out if this is a problem on Martyr's end or if this is a problem on Top Talent's end. I've said it before, I'd say it again. I love to see people like Andy Anderson putting out promos more than a week to 2 weeks before the dang show.
Yeah.
You have a month to 2 months to promote this ish. You
Well, yeah.
literally have, and I know, hold on, I know
Oh,
that
I'm just saying,
people
yeah.
in the back have marketing experience and training. I know this for a fact. So the fact that these people have places in this company and that the advertising isn't happening kind of bothers me because yeah, I had no idea who Robert Martyr is, but I know I hate Mitch Clarke, but it's hard for me to cheer for someone I don't know. It would have been a lot easier for me if I knew who he was a little bit more. I need a little bit more than the match announcement out of both the company and the wrestler. Because like this might not be a popular opinion, this might not be how it really is. But in my opinion, it's the company's job to promote the match, but it's the wrestler's job to promote the wrestler.
Hmm?
And you guys have to be relevant outside of the promotion as well as inside the promotion. Um, that being said, though, Robert Murder, I would assume was the name. He's a GCW guy, just like Jordan Oliver, just like Effy's GCW too, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, to
One call
me, like,
Manders.
yeah, like these guys are actually very good wrestlers. There should be more done
Mm.
on both sides to promote the matches that they're in here because this could be just as exciting. I feel like this match would have been more like excitable if we knew what was going on a little bit more.
Yeah,
Otherwise, in ring, it was a solid match.
and I don't give this complaint just the lack of it to just top talent. Almost all the promotions seem to have it where it's like I just expected to know people when I go into stuff, except for LPW. I will give LPW credit. If you follow on their
Mhm,
socials, you follow on their YouTube page, they do interviews with a bunch of the wrestlers. Even if they can't, like if they brought in Vert Vixen, they didn't get Vert Vixen, but they got Zoe to go in and talk about Vert Vixen. And when they did
mhm,
their with her, they I will say LPW has a great marketing machine and how they do interviews and getting
mhm,
that stuff out. They really try to promote those matches in the way. I just wish everybody else,
mhm,
not shaming LPW or top talent for it, just if you would have just put out a Robert Martyr video of him just cutting a promo for like get him to cut a promo for 30 seconds just to give and just to tell me why I need to be cheering for him against Mitch Clarke, that would have put me in a lot better position. I'm lucky I had seen him a couple
mhm,
watching GCW events,
mhm.
but but again, he wasn't somebody who was paying attention to in GCW, so that's the issue.
Yeah, all he needed to do was come in and be like, "Mitch, you a bitch. I'm gonna beat you up." The crowd
Yep,
would have went right behind it. That's all we needed. Been like,
yep,
"Yeah, I wanna see this guy beat up Mitch." Yeah.
a
Like,
hundred,
that's all we really needed.
100%, 100%. Like
Mhm,
Effy was a little different when he came in. He was a little more, again, a lot more well known on the indie wrestling
mhm,
community, and is a very special character that can get you to can get you into his character within seconds because he just has that
yeah,
natural charisma. Martin, not that
mhm.
Martin doesn't have charisma, it's just we didn't know him. That's my biggest issue.
Yeah, and it's hard to just go out there and just try to enrapture a crowd that doesn't either know how to be enraptured or doesn't want to be enraptured or doesn't know the person trying to enrapture them, if that makes
Yep,
sense.
very much
Yeah.
so. We move on. Nasty Nate Nixon versus Weston King with Gussy Jones. I love Gussy, man. That dude is the biggest slime ball since Paul Heyman, man.
Don Callis. No, worse than Don Callis.
Oh, yeah, he's much slimier than Don Callis, that's for sure.
Mhm,
He's
mhm.
so slimy. He hit his own person with a bat. How the Don Callis ain't gonna hit his own person with a bat unless he's turning on them.
Yeah, I was gonna say we saw what happened with their Omega there.
Yeah, but he
Yeah.
was turning on Omega. Gussy's still managing Weston, and he hit him with a bat. That's what confuses me. That's why
Here's the thing though, the promotion and the video stuff that they production stuff that they're doing with Weston King and Gussie is freaking hilarious and entertaining as hell.
Dark
But
Side
you're
of the King.
absolutely right. It makes no sense.
Like you need to go to the top talent
We'll leave it in the
page,
description box below, the link
their
for it.
Instagram. Go to their Instagram. Click on the video that's Dark Side of the King. It is the greatest like 6 or 7 minutes of wrestling content you will ever watch. It is them spoofing Dark Side of the Ring, but it's all about Weston, and it's so good.
It's so funny, so funny. This is that
Oh
production value that we are looking for in this
yeah, so
company.
West,
It can't just be Weston and Andy.
yeah, so they come out, and he's still got the knee brace on, and he's got the crutches, and they're saying he can't wrestle, and then Gussy's distracting Nate. And this is where Weston picks up the crutch and hits Nate across the back, rips off the knee pad, takes off the shirt, takes off the pants. Weston King is recovered. He is ready.
Whoa. Tell them about the pants. Tell them
What about
about the pants.
what about the pants?
They were tearaway jeans. Tearaway jeans. He Tai Chi'd us, and it was glorious.
Not
glorious.
As good as Mitch in the match before, but close.
Mitch has tearaways. Those are track pants. I have a pair of those.
It's just pure crap.
Tearaway jeans.
How he does it. Come on. Yeah, tearaway jeans is pretty impressive. It was
yes.
Weston gets a huge spine buster for 2. There's a point they're all both on their knees, just chopping each other back and forth. Weston really taking it to Nate throughout the match. Nate does get the forearm and the 1 knee backstabber. Nate getting the big Samoan for 2, hits a Uranagi for 2. Weston with the lids in the corner, then the running hip, then he drops Nate, and then he hits a running hip attack in the corner, but can only get 2 out of it. Nasty German in the ropes by Nate. I was so happy. I yelled, "Circus is okay!" And Nate and my buddy Nathan was just like, "Oh shit, that is Nate. That is Suzu."
Yes. I'm pretty sure he got it from Ishimori, but Suzu does it really good.
That's who does it the best. That's why I always say it's Suzu's German. But then he follows it up with the nasty knee, but Gussy ends up pulling the ref out. Nate slingshots Gussy into Weston, chops Gussy. Weston goes down, feigning a knee injury. Gussy attacks. Weston hits the full and then gets a full Nelson slam for a win. Like, that surprised the heck out of me that Weston got the win here with the full Nelson slam.
Yeah, I agree.
But the ever vigilant Azriel's music hits, and he comes out. He's not taking this. He's not going to allow Gussy Jones to get involved and do his shit and low blow people and do the things he does. And he's like, I'm standing up for the little guy and Nate Nixon, who's not little at all, and he's going to beat up Gussy Jones. He comes out, drops Gussy, catches the crutch, literally starts spinning Weston around the ring with the crutch and sends him flying out of the ring.
So funny.
Gussy low blows Azriel, and Azriel's like, oh no, and he's down, and Gussy's celebrating, and his shirt's off. His
shirt was not off. His blazer came off, and that was enough.
And his shirt was like splitting open, and like so I'm a suspenders guy. When you wear suspenders, you wear especially if you're a guy with a belly like I am, you wear your pants over your belly and the suspenders keep them up. He was wearing them, but it was like his gut was hanging over the pants. And like it was like the shirt was splitting open. I was laughing so hard at this dude because he looks like the ultimate scuzzball at this point. And
that's the point.
He realizes Azriel gets up. And Azriel goes to leave. Azriel grabs him by the suspenders, pulls him back, and picks him up and slams the shit out of him. Then he hits that release toss suplex to Gussy, and it was over. Holy shit, was that good?
And like at this point, it's like, hasn't this dipshit not figured out that when you hear that purge thing and you think Seven's coming, you get the frickety frack out of the ring?
Yeah.
You'd think you'd learn that, but like it's a little slow in the uptake on these two. The match itself was freaking phenomenal. Nate's always a treat to watch. I also don't understand the loss though. Especially when Nate has had such a great beginning of the year. He got to face Eric Rowan, RCW. We also saw him face Tommy Billington in an incredible match there. I'm not liking this. Nate's kind of a great champion or a great talent, and he held down the fort in RCW as a champion last year. You got some questionable champions in RCW right now. Would like to see that kind of change. But talking about top talent, I understand the build that's happening with Weston. He has been out with injury for a little bit and still been arguably the only other person besides Andy putting out content to kind of watch in regards to top talent. So I'm happy to see him getting rewarded for that. I would just maybe like to see him being rewarded against other people. Um, but yeah, the ending part with Azriel was just hilarious. Really good way to kind of continue the story. Trying to understand the connection Azriel has to Nate. Is this going to be a tag team? I don't know if I'd like to see that. Because Azriel's always kind of been this like looming impending doom kind of guy, and Nate is kind of that fun-loving energy guy. I don't know. Maybe the opposites will attract in that and make an interesting kind of tag team. But I'm looking forward to the next show where we get to see Mr. Suspenders yeeted around again. That'll be
Yeah, I think we all want to
fun.
see suspenders getting tossed, right? But yeah, again, good match. I really did enjoy this. So
Yes,
we're
yes.
gonna move on. It's Team Bobby versus Team Andy. Hold on for a second. Team Bobby, Sharpe, Kat Von Heez, Chris Starr, and Big Jess Youngblood. And Team Andy is Andy Anderson, Peyton Pryce, Rayden, and the unwilling Jack O'Connor. So Jack O'Connor,
Unwilling?
yes, I learned some information. So in Japanese wrestling, the mists all have different powers. She misted him with the purple mist, which is mind control. Yeah. So and she brought him onto Andy's team because she had control of Jack O'Connor. Peyton had control of Jack O'Connor after spraying him with the mist last month. Yes.
See, and this is where I'm going with the value of content. I didn't say I'm purple. I love purple. My hair is purple. You can't tell, but like I did not tell that there was a color in the spray that she sprayed him with. So I don't that should have been something that was said to all of the people and not just Andre privately. Come on, you
Investigative
guys.
reporting is what it is. It's investigative reporting.
Oh. Do you know how much more sense this would have made to me though if it was implied or put out on socials though? That's
Well,
something that the crowd could have used because we could have turned on Team Andy and started going, "Come back, Connor!
well,
Break the control!"
and realize Rayden was literally beating up Connor last month, and that's where Peyton got involved and misted Connor in the face to get him under control to bring him on to Team Andy this month.
See,
So
I feel like that's a brilliant story, but it's unfortunate that I'm only hearing about it now and after the frickin' match.
I found out after, so it was confusing to me too.
You
There's a
better.
lot. I'm gonna be jumping through stuff here because it's just a lot.
There was a lot.
Uh, Bobby hits a Samoan to Jack. Jack comes back with a beautiful gut wrench. Peyton hits a Rana Rana off the top to Jess. Moonsault by Peyton to awesome moonsault by Peyton, by the way. And it's just like
Oh, yeah.
she's got super fast rotation on the moonsault too. Look,
Mhm,
absolutely
mhm.
phenomenal. She
Very
hit the
good.
star. A Cat gets a Samoan drop to Rayden the Destroyer. Peyton ends up misting Cat with the red. I think it was red mist. Her face looked a little red after, so I'm guessing red mist. Again, it wasn't up close, couldn't see it. Because that's usually the one that everybody goes, the red mist burns. So yeah,
Oh, it's spicy.
yeah, spicy mist.
Spicy mist.
Cat comes back, hits the Angel's wings to Peyton, Pryce to eliminate her. This is where Andy comes in, hits, as I like to call it, the camel toss bomb to Kat Von Heez and eliminates her. I'll say this:
Mhm.
last night was watching old ROH footage of Andy Anderson in 2003 on ROH,
Oh, wow.
and he was doing that Splash Mountain bomb back then too. So yeah,
Jesus. Great
well,
moves die hard.
Andy's been around since the mid '90s. Is when he debuted. Was
Yeah.
in the mid '90s. So like this guy's had a long ass career, man, and he's
Mhm.
only getting better. Like he's
Yeah.
only getting better. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Beautiful
Hope
delayed
you're learning.
suplex by Andy to Christian Starr. Looked really good.
He was flexing and everything.
And then he hits a sit-out dominator to the kid but can only get 2. This is where Rayden comes in. He hits a choke slam to Star, and he eliminates Christian Star. I was so disappointed. I'm like, no, give me Christian Star. Just sending Rayden to the floor, but gets cut off on the dive. Rayden gets cut off on his own dive attempt. I was like, I don't want to see Rayden do a dive.
No, there's a very distinct difference between Rayden and Orion here. Orion, I would trust. Rayden, not so much.
Rayden power bombs Bobby at one point, but he kicks out at 2.9. Jess drops Jack with a backdrop, running across to Rayden, hits a spear to Jack. Jesse hits the biggest moonsault ever, but to Jack, but Rayden breaks the pin up and hits that choke bomb to Jesse, puts Jack on top of him, and Jack eliminates Jesse. Which I was good for Jack, man, getting the elimination. So Team Andy is now up 3-1. They have 3 members left to Bobby's 1. So Bobby comes in, he reverses a choke slam into a DDT and eliminates Rayden. Bobby ends up powerbombing Jack because this dude's already like wrecked from that moonsault and everything beforehand. Hits powerbomb, eliminates Jack, and so now it's down to Bobby and Andy. And this is where Rayden comes back into the match. And he starts beating the hell out of Bobby with a ring bell, hits that sit-out choke bomb, and the ref calls for the DQ. He's like, no, I'm not having this. I respected it. And I think it was Avon, too, which is the worst part because I think Avon was reffing this match.
Who?
Was it Avon or who was reffing? Or no,
I don't know that name. That's probably why I'm like, who?
There's Avon, Fox, there's the new
Smalls.
girl. Smalls and the new girl. I think it was Avon.
Oh, yes, the redhead. She's cool.
I think it was Avon in this match. I'm not sure, though.
I mean, clearly doing his job right. He wasn't noticed.
Yeah, whoever did it, but they actually did a good job by DQing Andy for this. So this is where they get a rope, wrap it around Bobby's arm, and they have Bobby in the ring, and Rayden's pulling on the rope, keeping the arm super tight on the mat. And Andy puts the ring bell on Bobby's wrist and just cranks it with a chair repeatedly, and to trying to break Bobby's wrist. Bobby's cat and was it Jesse run out, and they run off Andy and Rayden. And Bob calls him a son of a bitch. He says he gets him 1-on-1 March 22nd, and there's nothing he can do about it because it's happening. And that's the first announcement that it was coming next month. That was like, I was like, oh, 6 weeks. Yay.
Hey, I mean, you had almost 800-900 people in that venue. That doesn't surprise me that you can afford to bring in another show a lot earlier. Let's see the advertising and production for it be a little bit better. But this match overall,
the production side is already pretty good, I would say, but it's the advertising.
Yeah, when I say production, I mean the promos.
Oh yeah.
Which at this point, again, the only one really doing them is Andy.
I want a Bobby Sharpe promo for this match so badly.
Lion Warrior, you have so many titles. Can you spare us a few minutes, please? Advertise this match. Tell us what you're going to do to him.
That's why he can't spare us a minute, because he's always wrestling everywhere.
Gosh dang it, just a minute, please. That's all we need. Heck, that's all the Instagram algorithm needs, or the TikTok, Instagram algorithm, whatever. Shout out Andy Anderson. We've said this every time we see him, and I'm going to say it again so that the little people in the back can hear. Andy Anderson is the most heeliest heel that has ever healed in the history of healing in Alberta. He's the best heel that we have right now. And some of the things he says, they're controversial. He's not a bad dude. It's just he's building up the matches. And people are going to hate him so much more for the things that he says in these promos. So I want to see Andy Anderson completely always doing promos, but we need to see some answers back. Bobby, he's been bothering you for like half a year now. get out and kick this guy's ass. But tell us why you're going to kick his ass. Tell him what you're going to do to kick his ass. Do you make something special? I don't want to see like just a singles match or whatever. Like, is it a no holds barred that they decided?
I can't remember.
Make it special. Give us a big blow off. I really am excited for this feud because it is the only kind of story up and like till recently that we've really had going in Top Talent. And now if we're going to monthly, it's going to be a really good, easy draw for people to want to keep coming back to see what's happening with the feud the next month and the next month and the next month. We want to continue that 800 to 900 people venue. Hell, we want to push it more. You could. I'm surprised we hadn't. Penta is a big name. That's all I got to say on this one.
I'll say this: I'm disappointed because I was trying to get one of my former coworkers to come to the Penta show, and I know he's a giant AEW fan, and I didn't see him there. I didn't see you there, Rap. Damn it!
Yeah. Rude. So real quick, always a pleasure to see Kat. I do like that she actually has some more competition in Peyton, and I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing out of Peyton. I think these two can work a lot more together, and I think that they're going to have a lot more fun, kind of pulling out each other's, especially Peyton's personality. She's got that creepy clown thing going on, very fluky can death. I love it. Chris Starr is just freaking amazing. It disappointed me that he was just kind of the person who got thrown around in this match because he's such a tremendous talent. I mean, we've seen him against Harlon. We saw him in the Rumble. We've seen him against Dean Richter, RCW champion. We know this kid can go. I felt like he could have been given a little bit more of a showing in this one. O'Connor is also a favorite of mine. I don't know what it is about his styling. I think it's like it reminds me of a strong style kind of styling. I think that's what attracts me to it. Just because of the strikes, the MMA background. I feel he's almost like a little bit like a Zack Sabre Jr. for me also. Because he will
similar
the personality wise, not the wrestling, obviously, because Zack Sabre Jr. is straight up technical. But yeah, that's kind of what he gives me. He gives me ZSJ vibes. I think that's why I kind of enjoy him. I'd like to see him be as mouthy as Zack Sabre Jr. I think that would actually help build his character a little bit more. Antagonize the crowd if you're with the bad boys. Piss us off. Make us hate you. Because if you're a heel, you don't want us cheering you. You want us booing you. Do things to make us boo you. Antagonize a child. Yell at Ronnie. Don't yell at Ronnie. Yell at me. Yell at somebody. Do something.
Yell at Ronnie.
Antagonize.
Yell at Ronnie. Yell at
Don't
Ronnie.
yell at
Always yell at
You yell at
Ronnie.
Ronnie, I'm involved. You yell at Ronnie, I'm involved. I will come to Ronnie's corner.
I'll start yelling at Ronnie then.
Rayden's I always try to be nice to him because he does have that 80s style big guy wrestling, which I know a lot of people, especially in this area who love that Stampede style, love that styling. For me, it's a little lackluster, but he does his job in the group very, very well. He's that quiet giant who just kind of does what he's told by everybody else. And I feel that he's doing it extremely well. I think that's all I got to say on this one.
Again, awesome tag match.
Oh,
We move
yeah.
on. It's time for the king of the triple threats. It is Josh Alexander and Dalton Roach, both challenging King T.Y. Jackson for the king of the triple threats championship. Josh hits a beautiful crossbody to T.Y. off the apron. Like T.Y. sitting on the apron facing out, and Josh Alexander comes running, hits a low through the bottom two ropes, crossbodies T.Y. through the ropes out to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That was so good. Dalton, T.Y.'s on the floor. Alexander's like on his hands and knees. And Dalton jumps off of Alexander's back over the top rope with a big kilo. T.Y. on the floor. T.Y. gets a sling blade to Dalton in the ring for 2. Josh hits the Green Bay plunge to T.Y., then hits an exploder to Dalton onto TY. Then he gets a 2 count on TY. Then a 2 count on Dalton. Beautiful springboard Rana by Josh Alexander to Dalton Rogue. Josh gets the ankle locks on TY and Dalton separately because he's ankle locking Dalton and he's like half in the ropes, and then TY insecurities him. But as he hits him with the insecurity, he grabs the foot and starts ankle locking TY. So good.
So smart.
Yeah, so Josh gets 2 Germans, tries a third on TY on the apron, but Dalton breaks it up. Josh ends up hitting the third German to Dalton on the apron, roll to the floor, and TY hits a toe pick on Hilo onto all of them on the floor. Beautiful electric chair Tower of Doom in the corner. Josh went up. He was behind Dalton. He was trying to like grab him by the waist to give or like to backdrop him or something, but he ended up slipping. So he got under him. And and TY took the brunt of it, taking at the top of the Tower of Doom. But dude, it was great. I was hoping for the Olivia Newton bomb here. That's what I wanted. I wanted him to grab Dalton and like power him and do the Olivia Newton bomb.
His legs were super shaky too on the ropes when he was going for that. They were just going on. We were freaked out in the second row there that he was going to slip off again.
Yeah. Dalton's it's just so good. Dalton hits a buckle bomb to TY, and then TY fights him. TY goes up. Josh gets Dalton on his shoulders, and TY he gets TY up on his shoulders like FU style, and hits the double Death Valley driver. But he can only get 2 on each guy. TY misses with kicks, gets punched in the jaw, and Josh and Dalton hit this mushroom stomp power bomb combo to TY. And then Josh gets the cover, and then Dalton double stomps Josh in the back to break it up, and hits the inverted go to hell, which is Sammy Guevara's move. It's usually Sammy Guevara goes from the torture rack, flips him over, and knees him in the face. Dalton does it Death Valley driver into it, and he knees him in the back of the head. But he only get 2 on that. Dalton fights off an ankle lock and then then he goes running at TY in the corner. I think it's TY or Josh in the corner, and he dodges and he runs up the female, like does the off the chest flip off the female referee, like runs up. And she's just like, "What just happened?"
I mean, yeah. Be a little shocking. You're just sitting there and then suddenly, oh shit. What in your face?
TY Swanton's pinning attempt of Dalton's, and then he gets both pinfall attempts on both Josh and Dalton. Dalton at the end though, Dalton and TY are trading shots. Dalton hits his inverted go to hell, and then does that hop over the top into the DDT to Josh Alexander on the apron, and he then hits the top rope stomp to TY, and we have a new king of the triple threats, Dalton. I'm gonna say it right, Rogue.
Yes, Rouge.
Dalton Rogue, man.
I will always say Rouge.
And after the show, Dalton came up and he's like, "Did you?" And I was like, "Oh, great job on the DDT on that DDT." And he's like, "Oh, you liked it better this time, eh?" Because last show, I literally yelled at him when he went over, and the guy didn't go. They messed it up, and I'm like, "That sucked." And he called me out on it this show, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I remember that because I was like, Andre, what the frick? It was right when the crowd went into a hush. So, like, you couldn't not hear that comment. This match was tremendous. I mean, that's what you get. This was great. I'm gonna say the first great thing that comes out of this, I hope anyway, TY will come out to Necklace again.
No, he'll come out to his other. He'll come out to his other new song.
No, God damn it! That's not.
I was yelling. Your old song's better. I was yelling. Your old song's better. Yeah.
It is. It is. I'm not gonna lie though. I completely forgot that Josh Alexander was on the show. When his music hit, I was like, "What the frick? Oh, right." And I don't know why, because I saw the match cards and everything too going up to it. Maybe I was just so stop making that face. I was chaotically all over the place. That was a crazy night. I saw people who I haven't seen. What are you doing duck face for? Jesus Christ. Is that duck face or platypus face? I can't tell.
Platypus face.
I saw so many people, and I was seeing them a lot during this match. Um, yeah, I was actually very pleasantly surprised that Dalton picked this one up. I definitely thought that TY kind of was going to reign over us for a little bit longer. Um, I do appreciate that Dalton's getting some recognition in the company because he's been going really, really hard at these top talent shows. And I think the last triple threat that we had mentioned, he did fracking phenomenal in that as well. And I
Except
actually
the
expect
DDT.
no, that DDT was a few shows ago.
No,
That
that was
wasn't the
last
last
show.
one. No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay. That was last
No,
show.
because the last show we sat around the corner, the show that happened, we had sat in the same spot we did last time. So it wasn't the December show, it was the October show.
Okay.
You just make an impact because you're loud and everyone loves it. But yeah, the last show, he also did tremendously in the triple threat, and I absolutely loved the progress he's been making, but then also seeing him in RCW, he's been getting better and better and better and better and better. Um, easy to look at also, kind of makes him a little bit more marketable. I would have also, though, liked to see Josh Alexander pick it up because that would have meant we would have been guaranteeing getting him back. But this is
I
the
think
second time,
I think we get him back anyways because this is what his second time here.
as I was saying, this is his second time here. I suspect that he will be back more. This is typically what we're seeing. Top Talent is getting the reputation for being the place to go for superstars like this. We're seeing a lot of repeat returns and within, a few month period as opposed to, a couple years. So these guys and girls are clearly excited to come and work for Top Talent. And that makes my heart happy because that means we get to see all the amazing people coming to Top Talent.
Well,
Now I'm
yeah,
done.
we got 5 straight shows of Effy. I know we missed the August show because I was at a wedding and you just didn't want to go without me for some weird reason.
Because if you weren't going, most of our other posse isn't going. If you don't go, the horde doesn't go.
So
There's
what
no
you're
horde,
so
there's
what
no
you're
protection for Melball.
so what you're saying is I'm the leader of the horde.
You are lead Urukai.
What?
Watch Lord of the Rings.
No, I've watched it once and I will never watch those boring movies again. Ugh. Terrible.
Let's move on.
I'm happy to say that on here. Terrible movies. We move on to Ava Lawless versus Vanna Black. I was very excited to see Vanna Black. I've been watching a lot of her stuff lately on YouTube and everywhere I can find her stuff. She's actually really, really good.
Mhm.
40 push-ups to just get warmed up at the start of the match.
I'm just saying it was more than Mr. Longest Name.
Michael,
Professional Wrestling
Allen,
Wheel.
Richard, Clarke. He goes like what? Well, he did like 40 or 50 at the LPW show a couple shows
Yeah,
back.
he did for charity. Yeah, yeah. But not to warm up in his match. Doesn't do
No, no,
that.
no. He does like 5 during his match. That'll be about it. Maybe 10, depending on the situation. Actually, he did
I mean,
50.
comparable
No,
shoulders, though.
no,
These
no,
both
no. No, he said. I was saying he did 20 at the last show when he was push-upping on Sheik,
bad and
Rat, and Thad. He did 20 on them.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I
So,
mean, elevated push-ups they're a little tough. They're a little tough. Take us into it, man.
but yeah, you're saying her shoulders. Holy shit.
So freaking, I mean, she's just built all over. That girl's what I want to be.
Yeah,
Moving
I
on.
didn't get a lot of notes because I kind of got lost in this match. I was really enjoying it. Great back
Mhm.
and forth between Vanna and Ava early. They're just really laying into each other. Looked really good there. Ava gets an eat defeat, hits a Russian leg sweep on the floor into the apron, like hurting both of their backs.
Mhm.
Vanna hits this just solid flatliner, just killing Ava on the mat. Um,
Mm.
Vanna hits this great looking stunner for 2, but Ava in the end gets the backpack stunner, follows it up with, I think it was like a swing into a flapjack. She had him up on her shoulder and spun her out and like drove her down flapjack style. And Ava Lawless gets the win. Again, really fun match. I was enjoying it so much I wasn't writing a lot of notes. And I think it was Nathan. I think Nathan said, "Aren't you supposed to be writing notes?" And I'm like, "Got it, points." I was just really enjoying the match.
Mm. Mm. I'm gonna disagree a little bit with you on this one. This match was only okay for me. I really enjoyed Vanna Black. I enjoyed what I saw, and I enjoyed what I see out of Ava also. It's just something was missing for me in this match. I'm not entirely sure what it was, but for me, it felt like the energy got sucked out for me. And I did feel like the crowd quieted down quite a bit for this one.
Yeah, I'll admit the crowd wasn't there for this one.
I think maybe what it was there was a distinct lack of connection between these two ladies and the crowd. And where I get that that happens because you're trying to focus on a wrestling match. You got to focus on protecting each other while you're in there. I totally understand that. But you got to also get us riled up. We are going to be kept interest. So when you're setting up for a move, just throw an arm up and be like, "Come on, let's go." Like make us excited to want to see it. Maybe that's what I was missing in this one because these two seemed very focused on each other and maybe that's what I was missing is a connection to the wrestlers. But like in-ring performance-wise, it was a very solid match. But for me, I do need that overall vibe to feel a connection to the match and the wrestlers. And maybe that's where I was missing is that there was a disconnect between the wrestlers and the crowd. So I wasn't able to fully get into it as much. But otherwise,
Yeah.
again, solid in-ring performance, and I would definitely love to see them do it again, maybe this time with a little bit more interaction.
Yeah. I think it also suffered from the same thing that the Mitch and Robert Martyr match suffered from in having like a killer blowing match to follow it. And that's the other thing about
Mhm,
no intermissions with top talent. They just go from start to finish. There's no stopping the show. Um,
mhm.
that's also part of it is that there's no intermission, so you don't have it. The crowd doesn't have a time to kind of recover after like
Yeah.
usually if 5 matches in, you'll have like that big starter match, and you have that big match to finish the section, and you go into intermission, and you come back with something like this, and they can pick the crowd up into it. But I think the crowd was kind of burnt out from that triple threat too. I think
Mhm,
that's
mhm.
part of it too.
You know who's been killing it with that template that you mentioned? RCW. RCW has been doing really good with that, starting with a really good banger match, ending with a banger match, intermission, and then finishing off the show. I feel that they've been doing really great. They partner with Top Talent a bit, so maybe share booking stuff.
Yeah. Again, so different bookers, different stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we move on. Semi-main event of the evening. It is for the Top Talent Wrestling Championship. It is their champion Effy taking on their challenger Gabriel Lestat. Um, Good back and forth early. Effy wants is begging Gabriel to bite him, but Gabriel just won't do it. I don't know why. He's like literally like bite me, but he just won't bite him. Um, Effy gets Gabriel in the corner and is doing those backwards hip thrusts into the corner. Just the crowd just like 1, 2, just counting with it. He hits a running boot to the face, does the leg choke over the ropes twice. Um, Effie hits an uppercut, or Effie hits an uppercut to the suicide dive attempt by Gabriel, and he gets his like half tarantula on the ropes. And then he lets go into an efferoony, as I'm going to call it, the Effie Rooney. Instead of the spinneroony, it's an Effie Rooney. You seem confused. That's why I clarified. um,
No, I'm just muted.
oh, that's right. Running cross to the back in the ropes by Effie. Gabriel gets a tarantula in the ropes and hits the double axe handle off the top. Headbutts by Gabriel, but Effy kisses him to stop the 10th headbutt. Gabriel gets the Death Valley Driver for 2. Effy hits the nip twist, but Gabriel, I guess since he's a vampire, his nipples are dead. I don't know. So Effy bites the nipple and then gets a Northern Lights suplex for 2. Curbs. What? What, he's got dead nipples? Is that what they were laughing at? Curb stomp by Effy. But he kind of plays for the crowd before he goes to the pin, so he only gets 2. Gabriel gets the claw, but Effy seems to like it. He likes being grabbed by the claw by the jaw. It was actually pretty funny. Gabriel goes and goes for Combinacia Cabron. He gets caught on the ropes, but he still managed to put at least one boot into Effy's face. Effy hits the Houston Hangover, comes back, hits the Houston Hangover off the top, falls over with the spear, but Gabriel kicks a 2.9. Gabriel turns a Rough Rider into a power bomb and hits Nail in the Coffin, which is a Falcon Arrow for 2. He hits the Destiny. No, he does not. And Effy reverses it into a TKO into the Dragon Sleeper, but Gabriel fights out. Effy hits a Rough Rider. Gabriel kicks 2.9. Effy goes to the top, but Gabriel crotches him on the top rope. Gabriel bites Effy up top, hits the top rope superplex. Effy reverses gets a cradle of his own, but then Gabriel reverses that cradle into his own. And the 1, 2, 3, Gabriel is your new Top Talent Wrestling champion. From there, I'm not done yet. The match may be over, but I'm not done. Effy gets on the mic, says he showed up with 8 staples in his head because he always shows up. He's faced some of the best in Edmonton, and Edmonton loves Effy. He got beat by a vampire, fair and square. And he'll give him the respect. They shake hands. He says crowds have grown, and there's no better crowds. He says when he comes back, he wants another shot at that belt. Says it's going to be and he specifically says whoever is around here is going to have a tough time taking this title off you. So Effy's leaving. Mitch Clarke comes out and he knocks Effy over on his way to the ring, and he just attacks Gabriel, spears him, hits him with the briefcase, and cashes in the briefcase. We're getting another Top Talent Championship match. Mitch hits a God-style pile driver, but Gabriel kicks a 2.9. Gabriel gets the claw. Mitch fights him off. They're trading strikes. Gabriel hits what looked like an angle slam. It's a running kick, then a sliding lariat for 2. Gabriel goes to the top. Mitch pulls him off into that Green Bay rolls and then gets him in the stack pin. And we have another new Top Talent Wrestling champion, the raddest ultra-violent man himself, Mitch Clarke, baby. Right there. Yeah, we did it. We did it. Mitch.
Yes. For a brief moment in time, I loved Mitch Clarke. Thank you, Mr. Clarke. I know we don't see eye to eye. I don't give a shit, and I don't give a shit what happens going forward. This moment will forever live rent-free in my brain for eternity, all because of Mitch Clarke. Thank you. It was a great ending. Couldn't have happened better. I think it was a great ending.
I thought Effy and Gabriel had a really good match in there. They worked well together. The only real flub I saw was when he was going for Combinacion. He got caught, but he still managed to kick Effy in the face. Like even when he kind of tripped over, he still managed to turn it up and kick him in the face. So he got like a half Combinacion. But again, good match overall. And again, it gave the crowd a real pop, getting to see Gabriel beat out. There was a pop, but there was also a section of the crowd that booed. Because they're like, oh, that means Effy's not coming back next month. And I was a little disappointed. I'm like, but he did say he's going to come back. I want Effy back. I think it's time. I think it's time to have a little bit of a break from Effy so that when he turn again, maybe come back in the summer.
Then we can be excited again.
I'll be excited every time I see Effy. Don't get me wrong, but I think the crowd just it's not the bad thing to have a break, and we could. And this
Mhm.
allows the top talent to bring a couple other names in. They're bringing in Santana next month. They can bring somebody
Mhm.
else in along with Santana, and it just gives them a chance to rotate through, right? And gives Effy a chance to clear the company for a little bit. When he comes back,
Mhm.
we'll have some fresh people to work with.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
All right, perfect. Let's move on to the main event of the evening.
Yes.
Like this was an amazing match. Don't get me wrong. Like top to bottom, so good. But I still got to put
Mhm.
that opening match as my match of the night, just because it's
Yeah.
these two guys with pure natural talent. Both these guys have pure natural talent. Don't get me wrong. I was so into that. I think and boy howdy was Penta awesome.
Oh, yeah.
No,
He's such a
man, oh,
performer, an entertainer. And I think that's why, like for myself, that I agree with you with the opening match was very different in excitement for these guys. Because like with Harlan and Penta, we know that they are both really good wrestlers, but they're also both showmen. And this was more of a showman match, I
mhm.
think, as opposed to the opener, which was like, look what we can do. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah. Think Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers is what this was. This is a high
Mm,
doing multiple high spots, super kick
mm.
parties, things like that. And nothing's wrong with that. I had a great time watching it and I loved it. But
Yeah,
I just
so
put the
good.
opener just slightly above it in my personal opinion. But getting to meet
Mhm.
Penta, oh my god! And I'll say this, and this isn't coming from me. This is coming from our friend Andreas, who is Chilean, who is like he speaks Spanish. He goes,
Mm.
he's like Penta puts an accent on, and I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah. When he's speaking to us when we were when we were getting pictures, um, he seemed to speak very good English, and this is Andrea saying this. He says he spoke a little more broken English when he was in the ring cutting a promo after the match. So I was just like, I'm like, that's all coming from a guy who speaks Spanish from Spanish from a Chilean family. So that's all coming from the guy who speaks Spanish. And even he went up to him to speak.
Wow.
So Penta spoke very good English. So when he went up to meet him, he started speaking to him in Spanish, and then Penta responded to him in English.
It's funny, I didn't know that.
No, like he was like he was doing like Spanglish. He was going back and forth with English and Spanish, and they just both went into English. But yeah, it was actually pretty funny. I was
That's
like,
hilarious.
this
I
is
love that.
so yeah.
Aw, that's fun. That's
I
fun.
found I found that pretty funny. We were talking about it. We talked about it. I know we were talking about a bit on the way home with Andreas, but then me and him were
A
talking
little
about it.
bit, yeah.
We were talking about it more at the comedy show last night before the comedy started.
Mhm.
We were just laughing about it. So we kick it off. There's a super kick party early. Both of them hitting super kicks to each other, going back and forth. Harlan
Mhm.
gets Penta out, hits a suicide dive. Penta hits the sling blade. Looks
So
so
good.
like utter perfection. Like this is the closest.
So crisp.
This was the closest you get to prime Tanahashi is Penta's sling blade. This is the closest you get. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
very snug, very tight, very close. Very good.
so Penta ends up rolling out off the sling blade, and Penta, holy crap, this dude gets height on his jumps because he tope con heloed, but like he like extra super tope con heloed. Like he's got a vertical jump of I don't believe because he cleared the ropes by about yay. Like usually you see a tope guy just get over the ropes. He cleared the ropes by
Mhm.
had some distance in between him and the rope. Guys usually just get over the ropes on a tope. He cleared.
Mhm.
I don't, dude. His his jumping
So
ability is
good.
insane. They have a chop battle on the floor. Harlan stops the hop over into the backstabber, turns it into an F5, but he can only get two, and that's a move I've seen him win a bunch of matches with.
Mhm.
F5. Um, Backdrop into the corner by Penta into the upside down super kick, and he gets two. Harlan, like it's where he lifts him up, and like Harlan's like up in the air over top the rope, and he super kicks Harlan while he's upside down. Oh,
Mhm.
such a good like
So good.
He's almost handstanding on the top rope, and he super kicks him in the face. Looks so good.
So good.
Harlon and Penta trade Canadian destroyers back and forth. So like it was Harlon hit a Canadian destroyer, Penta hit a Canadian destroyer, Harlon hit a Canadian destroyer, Penta hit a Canadian destroyer, and then Penta gets a 2 count after the 4th Canadian destroyer. Like Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers is the style they were working in this match. They end up on the apron. They're trading kicks. Penta hits the Fear Factor package pile driver onto the apron. Penta hits a double stomp off the top, but Harlon kicks a 2.9. Harlon hits his elevated J driller, but Penta kicks a 2.9. Penta like rolls out of the way of the 450, but he grabs an arm bar grabs the arm bar as Harlon comes down and then twists him over, hammer locks it, and does the. He's been doing this
yank back
and yank back to like crack the arm, picks him up, hooks him up. Fear Factor package pile driver.
Yeah.
And Penta L0 is your winner. Zero miedo, no fear, baby.
Yes.
Holy crap! I'm like for indie matches of the year. I'm putting the opener and I'm putting the main event both on my list right now because like both matches deserve to be on that list right now. Holy shit!
Like as you were mentioning, the Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers, I did feel like I saw a lot of the stuff that happened in this match, but it's so different when it's happening in front of you. And I think we mentioned this in our Chop Talk before, like when we saw MRB versus Mike Bailey. You know, it's one thing for us to be watching him on NJPW and talking about seeing the strikes, talking about seeing the moves. It's a completely different thing to see it live and be experiencing it there. So these guys gave us one hell of an experience. For me, it felt like, it didn't feel like an indie show. It felt like a main, big, like ROH Impact level show. Penta, that red gear that he was wearing, loved it. Red sparkly gear. Don't know if that was a Canadian nod or he just happened to bring the red gear, but I loved it.
Oh, so I love the red gear, man.
So
I made sure to get the red gear for the thumbnail of this video. That first graphic I showed on here, I made sure it was the red gear Penta.
So good. So good. I definitely was hurting yesterday. My voice is mostly returned, but like I definitely was sounding like Tomoaki Hamna yesterday. If you know, you know. I'm something I guess. It was not a vibe. It was not attractive. Just because of how much we yelled, Zero, Miedo. He really gets that crowd interaction. And as I mentioned with the women's match, it felt like we were missing that interaction. We got all of the interaction in this one. There was even that one point where Penta like took off his glove and yeeted it, and Ian Smalls caught it really well. It was a perfect little point in that match. There's also that point where Mr. Smalls made a very questionable call, we'll say, and Penta got a little annoyed with him. Remember, grabbed him by the shirt and was kind of shaking him. He was going to punch him and everything. We're like, no. I don't know why we were saying no.
We were where I was. We were all going, yeah, hit the ref, and we were
all of the people around me were going, no, leave him alone.
Me and the people around me were all yelling, yeah, hit the ref. Dude, it was great, man. It was good. And I had two people, this couple behind us, and I was chatting with them all night too. Like they were asking me questions about a lot of the local wrestlers because again,
newbies.
I think they maybe been to a show once or twice before, so like they were asking about some of the people that worked here because they were big fans of Penta. Obviously, I think that was their draw for coming in here. But like, and they seemed they really enjoyed the show, and I'm like, come back next month. It only gets
expand
better.
The horde.
Yeah, expand the horde.
We ride at dawn. Yeah. Overall, this match freaking incredible. I was very happy with the ending. I love the pile driver that he does. Right up there. Yeah, right up there with Chase Owens and his pile driver. Also, Tommy's pile driver, really, really good too. Just
his tombstone. Oh, that tombstone he does is so good. And even Mitch hit a gotch.
Poor Swagway.
And Mitch hit a Gotch style pile driver in when he came out to cash in. So pile drivers tonight, man. There's a flip pile drivers and lots of pile drivers tonight.
Yeah, but variations of them. So they were entertaining. They were good. It wasn't like the same boring super kick, super kick, super kick. It wasn't that.
The J driller, his J driller pile, Harlan's J driller pile driver.
Yeah, they're all different. It's like how I feel about the stretch muffler in Stardom and NJPW right now. There's a lot of stretch mufflers, but there's so many variations of it that it makes it not a boring move. I love it. Great way to end the show.
I know it's not the show for it, but I think Bolton Lowleg should take the stretch muffler, doing it Brock Lesnar style where he stands up, but then like starts swinging the person. Like, he does his stretch muffler and just starts swinging the body while he's in the stretch muffler, where they're in the stretch muffler. That would be great.
Hey, I mean, clip it, send it to Bolton. We'll trademark it. You can call it the Andre Melball.
Well, it is time to get out of here for another edition of Chop Talk. We thank you all for joining us here, and I'm killing time to get my banners up. You can find me X Mastodon, Blue Sky, and Hive at That Canada Guy, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at That Canada Dude. Facebook, you can find me at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. Also right here on the YouTube. If you're not watching us on YouTube, youtube.com/at Andre Melball Wrestling Talk. And I want to give a big thanks and shout out to our friends over at Sunday Night's Main Event. All the great support they're giving us, simulcasting all their stuff over there. Thank you guys so very much. This show will not be there, but all of our Japanese wrestling content is going to be put up over there in audio form. If you want to hear our Japanese stuff, but in audio form, check that out at www.sundaysmainevent.com or on Patreon if you want to support them at patreon.com/SNMB radio. You can also find this guy, me, the Andre C, whatever you want to call me, over at twitch.tv/our local establishment, and also on youtube.com/our local establishment, where you can find me doing the Marvel talk. I don't think we have a proper Marvel talk coming until whenever the next Disney Plus show comes out, because we won't have a movie until the summer when Deadpool drops. But we'll be having the MCU Rebound coming out this coming Wednesday, so please check that out over there. We're going to be doing live on Wednesday night. You'll be seeing me and old Ed talking Iron Man Dose, the debut of Whiplash / Ivan Vanko, who are two different characters in the comics. But they're one person in this movie. So, that's a big reason why people hate this movie. But check it out, our local establishment. You can check them on the Insta and the TikToks at OLE Podcasts. You can also find all of mine and Melball stuff. You might be watching us right there over at youtube.com/@backbreaker video right up here. Our boy Mike the Ref, thank you so much for simulcasting all this stuff. We really do appreciate it. Go check out all the wrestling content over there. If you want to see him live, go to twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. You can follow along with his AEW watch-alongs every Wednesday and Saturday for Dynamite and Collision, and he does the pay-per-views too. So check that out. He does watch-alongs for those. If you want replay, and he has a lot of great gaming content over there. If you want replays of his gaming content, go over to youtube.com/@backbreaker_gaming. Excuse me. Or where you can find him, Mr. PJC, Mr. Rick Jules, and their freaking guest, Kayla J.
Hello, Jay. Love Kayla J.
And we got to see Rick Jules at the Top Talent Show.
We did. And PJC.
I didn't see PJC at all.
He was right next to him.
It was just him and his kid. Oh, was he standing there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice PJC at all. Dude, PJC, I am so sorry for not noticing you, brother. Oh, geez.
Andre's bar tab.
Because Leo's stepdad was there. JJ was there too. I was talking to JJ. I was talking to Jules. I talked to Leo. I didn't talk. God, I feel bad. My bar.
Andre's bar tab.
That only exists at Love Pro Wrestling. I don't have a bar tab at Top Talent.
Well, PJC's going to have to come to Love Pro Wrestling. Get a beer from you.
Beer on me, I
guess.
An
apology beer.
Sorry, PJC. Melball, where can they find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can find her on the X thing at Collins Melball. You can find her on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, and Blue Sky at Melball. You can also find me on our local establishments programming with Andre over there for our Japanese wrestling update, which comes out usually every Friday. Sometimes it's live, sometimes it's pre recorded. It depends on the subjects that we have to talk about and the urgency in which we feel we need to talk about them. You can also find me on Asher Pizarro's YouTube channel where we do our show, Ladies Wrestling Showcase, show all about the ladies. We got a show coming up this week, I believe, where we're going to be talking about some of the big news in women's professional wrestling. Updating you about some of the other things kind of going on around there. So stay tuned to our socials to see when that is coming out. If you're wanting to go to a Top Talent show, you can check out their website, www.toptalentwrestling.com. You can find links to tickets as well as their school if you're wanting to become a wrestler, manager, or referee. They have the tools to teach you, I guess.
Early bird
What
tickets
else?
are up. Early bird tickets
Oh,
are up for the
yeah.
Santana show, so they're only $15 a piece. Go get them. We got our tickets for Nation Cheap. Otherwise, you're paying about $24 with fees if you go through if you wait and go to Ticket Web. So
Save some dollar bills, you guys. Get them now and get them while they're hot. And now you don't have 2 months to get them. You only got one.
well, 6
It's
weeks, 6-ish weeks.
month and a half, but still get them early so you can save some dollar bills. That's $10 that you can put towards a burger instead.
Mm-hmm.
That works out nicely.
It does.
Do we have anything else to say, Andre, to the beautiful people?
I just wanted to thank you all so very much for all the great support. Please keep liking the video, subscribing to the channel, commenting down below, sharing it out to your friends, family, enemies, strangers, ghosts in the apparition, people from alternate realities, whatever it is. Please keep sharing it out, especially the people in the alternate realities, because you could be sharing out to the alternate reality version of me, and I would really love to hear feedback from the alternate reality version of me. That would be awesome.
Yes.
So
I
please,
do have.
oh,
Go
and
ahead.
then don't forget to hit notification bell so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video.
No. It is 2 in the afternoon. You can answer that.
Yeah, but I don't want to because I was supposed to put a light up today, but it's not happening, so I don't want to answer the door.
Doesn't mean the light's happening, my guy. Just means you're answering the door. It could be Girl Scout cookies.
Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah. I do have one last thing to say, and that is this episode will be coming out right around one of our good friends and fans' birthday. So we should say a happy birthday to our favorite local fan, Jason Rutledge. Happy
Jason,
birthday,
happy
Jason.
birthday. Happy birthday to Jason. Happy birthday to Jason. Happy birthday to Jason. Better show up soon. I will give your award away to somebody else if you don't show up.
We will find you, Mr. Rutledge.
He has promised to be at CWE. So I will be there.
Hey. Yes, looking forward to it. So again,
Costume
happy
better be
birthday,
epic.
Jason.
The costume
And
better be
yes,
epic.
we look forward to your epic birthday. Nope, your birthday cosplay. Yeah. That being said, I am your Melba. Over there is Andre. We will see you next time.